Hello, everyone. Welcome to Simulation 316. Guru, how are you, brother? Per usual, always here. Let me start the stage on Discord. Discord. What up, Big Sexy? Divergent Normie, how you doing, brother? Haven't seen you in a while. Nick Hulbert. Welcome, everybody. Here we go. Getting there. Discord is firing up. Here we go. Beautiful. Thank you so much for advertising Human First. I appreciate you, Guru. All right, stage is open. Oh, let me actually change. Yeah, output has to be speaker. Yeah. So that happens when, let's see. Yeah, that's what it is. Boom. Output Mac. Okay. Can't really do it in the middle of the live, I guess. Yeah, so Scarlet is the output. Okay. Let's see what happens here. And now output is input Mac. I think it's okay. I think we fixed it. Let me make sure that here we're also set the correct way. 414, 414. Yeah. Awesome. I think everybody can hear me okay, right? Welcome everybody to Simulation 316. Simulation Talk 316. And the stage on Discord is open. If you guys want to join on Twitch, the channel is LaserX83. How everybody doing? What up, Brendan? Good to see you, brother. Crossfire. Tonetrol. What up? Coldfish. Eisen. Logan. I look like Jesus. Thanks. I'll take it as a compliment. Juan. Has the code been decoded yet? That's the question. I love it. No, not yet. We're still working on it. What up, Blackberry? Jessica? Okay. Brendan is saying, today was the greatest day of my life. Thank you so much for the advice you gave me on surrendering. It really helped. Wow, man, that means the world to me, brother. How was your meeting, by the way? I just knowing that what you said is true is so fulfilling. You have no idea. I'm so grateful for this. Hold on. Yeah, Brendan, that made me infinitely happy. So thank you for this wonderful gift. Anything that we can add something. Bree, love dragonflies. Huge omens. Amazing. Martin helped you as well. Man, this is an honor. He surgically broke down my bad trip and told me some vital advice. Do you want to share? I'm sure other people can actually benefit from it. Thank you, Dominic or Dominique. Can't wait for the documentary. Me neither. It's going to be amazing. Would love to hear more about what he had to say if you're willing to share. What up, Tiny Squish? If you have something you would like to share or talk about, just raise your hand and I'll bring you up. And Brendan, to anybody who wasn't following, had a reactivation. What is it? A couple of weeks after 5-MeO, right? And couldn't really handle it that well in the beginning. It was up and down, and apparently some advice that I gave him and some advice a huge world expert on 5-MeO gave him really helped just to catch you up to speed. Oh, yeah. 10 days. Yeah, please come on and tell us about it. Come to Discord. Are you Tiny Squish, Brandon? Or is that a different person? Crossfire's in the house. Yeah, come on Discord. Come and chat about it. You are part of Discord, right? Again, just a reminder, if you guys want to follow on Twitch, it's LaserX83 on Twitch. That's the channel. Dreamwalker. Okay. You know where it is? The stage? If you come on Discord on the stage that is now open, you can come on and chat. Welcome everybody who are joining on TikTok as well. Good to see everybody. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. There we go. How you doing, brother? Wait. Oh. Invite to speak. I think you have to approve the invite to speak. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you. Awesome. Can you say something? Oh, I think we have the same issue that we had before because I switched the mics. Hold on. Let me see something here. So first of all, hold on. Let me change the mic real quick. It will be input. Say something. No. So yeah, let me actually, so don't go anywhere. I mean, I'm going to close Discord completely and reopen it. And then hopefully everything is going to be all right. So I'll do it in 2 seconds because I can't hear anything you're saying. Hold on. And it's for sure on my end. 1 second. So first of all, let's try and change. There we go. MacBook, great. 111, 111, wonderful. Output volume, great. Input is good. Okay. And amazing. And now let me bring this. What up, Mick from UK? You can, if you join our Discord, you can come on and chat. I'm going to reactivate Discord right now. You guys can still hear me okay, right? So I think we're still, okay, hold on. So first of all, this is, yeah, so the mic will be Mac. The input would be Scarlett. Great. Sorry about the technical difficulties. What's up, Phillies? All right. Jules, how are you, brother? Okay, I'm back in. Let's see. Oh, baby girl. The event is still on. Speaker on stage. And input, output, MacBook. There you go. Okay, I think now it should work. So now let's bring you on again. Hopefully this will work this time. We had this issue before. I think it should be good now. Try Dreamwalker. If not, I'm gonna do it one more time just by stopping the. There we go. I think I can hear you. Say something.
Okay.
Oh yes, baby. Here we go. Perfect.
Okay. Ooh, yeah, what a crazy journey this has been. Like, really. Ooh. So I'm out here in Mexico for 30 days. I'm learning Bufo, 5-MeO, and Cambo facilitation because I'm trying to build something like this place in Texas, to heal people with these powerful medicines and just work with them. And so, of course, I have to go through it myself first. And man, I didn't know 5 was that powerful, because I've done DMT like 400 plus times, and this took me somewhere that was, all the way, in like the most horrific way. The first time it was like I was literally in hell. Like I was like confused, and like it was just a place of complete confusion and fear, and then forgetting over and over and over that I was in that place. So
You went into a loop.
For 10 days after that, yeah, for 10 days after that, I was having these reactivations every night. And Martin was telling me as well that typically happens when your trip doesn't, your 5-MeO trip isn't complete. Like they said it was really unusual. My experience, one of the facilitators said they've never seen that before, where they said the fighting it is normal for a lot of people, but they said eventually it always ends, in infinite love, like where you rest in the love and you surrender. But the entire trip I did not surrender. I was just fighting. I was like in hell. It was horrible. And then I'm processing that for 10 days and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And that's when I talked to you about like, what do you think I could do about that? And you gave me the example of like, just imagine like you're a leaf and you're in turbulent water. And that was the perfect example. And even the grounding exercise that you were telling me about, it triggered a reactivation. Like I was like there, like partially again. And then, yeah, you told me it was good. And so I just to sit with it, and I sat with it, and I was imagining I was asleep, and that helped me that night. And then, so I said, yeah, I'm gonna talk to Martin, just to try to convince myself to do it again, because I'm here for that purpose, but it was terrifying, but I see him as like an authority in this space. He's the guy who invented the term God molecule. He knows all about this. Like he dedicated like a huge portion of his life to this. So just to make myself feel safe, I said, okay, I'll message him in, and I was able to talk to him for a whole hour, and he gave me so much advice. Like I told him I was going into like the fetal position when I was tripping, because it was like this energy on my heart. It was like so uncomfortable, it's like I had to like protect my heart, like just subconsciously, and I was going into the fetal position over and over. And he said that was probably something that was causing me to get caught in the loop, because it's like, I'm seeing myself as a person who's suffering, who has to protect us, so I'm not letting go, So he said the next time to just lay down and make sure my body going into the trip is in bilateral symmetry. So I lay down on my back with my body, with my arms stretched out. And he said to do that because staying in symmetry is it's non-duality. So it's like he said, you'll notice people who are on strong trips, they'll be, both sides of their body are like moving in the same exact way. He said that's when you're really in the experience, where it's not you trying to control it. And he broke it down like completely. Like I was telling him, I was like hitting the ground. He said, well, how are you hitting the ground? I was like, just like, and I showed him like, us hitting one hand at a time. He said, even if you hit the ground, if you're able to, if you have a moment of consciousness, just hit the ground with both hands. Like it triggers both sides of your brain. I'm like learning all this, and it was just super, super interesting to learn. So I was actually able to do that on the trip. It was 15 milligrams of 5-MeO. And I went all the way, like, oh my God. Like it's like this, it's real. It's just like all of us are everything. That's what I kept that's all I could see. It's like all of us are everything. It was purging everything that was wrong with me, things I didn't know that was wrong with me, every judgment I have about everyone, that it was like reflected right back at me. It's like, oh, I didn't even know, and all I could do was like ask for forgiveness. It was like I'm talking to myself, and it was just, I'm realizing, oh, this is like the hall of mirrors, that's what reality is. And it's just like, oh my God, it was the most powerful thing. So it's like, now I'm feeling love. And it's like, oh, this is me loving myself. When I love other people, it's like, oh, because it's like consciousness recognizes everything as itself. Oh my God, it was so powerful. And I went all the way. And after the trip, I'm calling my family members. I'm talking to them. People I haven't talked to in like 5 years. I'm like crying, talking to everyone, and like say we have to reconnect and all that. And then what's crazy is like these synchronicities are just popping up like crazy now. I talked to my brother because we're always arguing, and I talked to him. I was, it's just speaking life into him. Like, I love you. And it's just, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the arguing. I'm sorry for all the judgment. And I said, you're strong. You have a beautiful family. I love you guys, and all that. And then it was like really healing for him. And then he calls me back an hour later, and he's like, oh, I just made the craziest connection. Have you heard of Dan? Have you heard of Nature Jab, the guy who's making the Plastolene?
No, I'm not familiar. Hey, Jackie, you want to tell me about him?
Are you on? I can't hear you.
Oh, I muted myself so you can hear better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I'm not actually familiar. You want to tell me about him?
Yeah, it's like this guy. He's like developing a method of converting plastic into like as a replacement for like diesel and all that, but it's clean. Like people have done this in the past, but they weren't able to do it cleanly. It's like he's actually, he's making it happen. Like it's revolutionary. And yeah, somehow my brother, a friend of his, got connected with him because his friend, my brother's friend, works with like rockets. Like some type of rockets, yeah, he's a rocket scientist. Yeah, he works with literal rockets, and he's gonna test. He messaged Nature Jab on Instagram, and said, "Oh, if you want to test it on these rockets," he showcases the fuel, like how it works with like Mustangs and all these other vehicles. And he said, if you want to test it on rockets, just come out to Orlando, blah blah. And he actually responded. And he said, oh, if you want to go to EDC, which is an electronic music festival, he said, you're invited too. And he said, and he wanted to go. So it's like, now my brother's going with them, and my brother invited me. So it's just amazing. It's like, because my goals in life, I always want to be connected to people who are like really changing the world, because I really want to change the world. And it's like, now it's like that's actually happened. It happened like immediately, like what are the chances of that? It's like this guy has like 1 million followers, and he just messaged him like immediately, like after I called him today. And then now they have this thing set up, and now we're going to EDC. And it's like, it's just like, now that like I'm aligned, all my problems, it's like really everything is just open. I don't know how to explain it. It just feels supernatural. It doesn't make sense, but it's like, that's my experience right now. And it just feels like life is like turning into like heaven, like amazing. And I was so brave to go back in there. I was like almost crying. I was shaking. I was terrified to go back. That's how bad my first experience was. And I went in anyways, and I surrendered. And it was like the most beautiful experience ever. And the only reason I was able to was because of the advice you gave me and the advice that Martin gave me. Because when you gave me that advice, that was the first time I was able to sleep through the whole night. But like that was the first time, because every other night I had like 3 reactivations, like every 1 or 2 hours I had like another activation and another activation and another reactivation. I was using them as practice to get used to the surrender state. But that night I just went to sleep like the whole night, and I felt at peace. And then I talked to Martin the next day, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And then it was amazing,
Bro, you this is such an honor to know that something I said to you helped. I missed one. I missed. Yeah. It's an absolute honor, brother. Thank you. One thing I missed. So the day you were talking to Martin, you went back in at the same time.
No. It was the night. You gave me the advice, and then the next day, I think was it Martin. It was yesterday. It was yesterday I talked to Martin. So yeah, it was like 2 days ago.
Okay, so right after that. Okay, interesting, cool.
So,
well, remind me. I'm you know, I just simply wasn't aware. I understand he's like a really known person apparently. But Martin, what's his last name again?
Martin Ball. Yeah,
Ball.
He knows all about 5-MeO DMT. He really broke it down. He was like, okay, so what did you experience? What's your background? You know, all this, and he like pieced it together, and it was like it made so much sense. It's like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. And then last night I was trying to practice the open body language. It's like, wow, it really is real, because when I was I was like closed off, like trying to sleep, like at night, and then I started having the reactivation. I was like, okay, let me open my body language, and then it was so uncomfortable, and it's like, oh, that's why I'm always like blocking my heart energy or whatever. But it's like I feel like I have to like protect my heart, and it's just subconsciously. I didn't even know I was doing that until he brought up that that's something that's probably negatively affecting my trips. And then so I tried to like open my body language, and I was shivering. So I turned the AC up to like almost 80 degrees, and I was just shivering. I was so cold, and I didn't understand that. It's like the energy in my heart was just so powerful. And then the next day, I had a weird experience. I had a reactivation, and it was just suffering. And then I'm part of something called a Rosicrucian order. It's kind of like Freemasonry, but it's more like on the spiritual side. But the root is in ancient Egyptian mysticism. And I saw the symbol for the order, and I was having some visuals in the reactivation. I saw the symbol of the order in the middle of the whatever, geometry, whatever. I saw the symbol, and I heard something say, "You have help on the other side." And it was like, oh, I haven't even thought about that. Because I've been, behind in my studies or whatever, I haven't been thinking about it at all. And then it's just everything just aligned so perfectly. And I talked to them the next morning. They have a WhatsApp group, the local lodge. And I talked to them, and I asked them, I was like, yeah, it's like I'm going through this and that and that. And then it just aligned so perfectly. And then I'm after the experience, I'm just talking to all my family members, telling them how much I love them. And it was just, this is the most beautiful day ever. It's like I'm in heaven now. Like, really, it's like I can do anything. And then I just was working out today. It's like, yeah, I have to be the builder of what my dreams is. It's like I have to do everything. And I love that. It's not a problem. It's just like I am the builder of my world, and I love my life. And it's like, I'm free now.
That's amazing, brother.
And thank you so much, because you played a huge role in that. Like I didn't really have like a method of like surrender, and that visualization for whatever reason helped me a lot, because like I could picture that in my head exactly. And
it helped me. It helped me a lot in tumultuous. It helped me a lot in tumultuous times in life. So I know it works, at least for me, and I know it's easy to visualize. So I'm super happy that. And you know what's funny is, oh, and by the way, Mikolus, I just realized that you're on X, so you don't really see our texts on YouTube and on Twitch. So
you're cutting out a little bit. I
don't
know if it's my Wi-Fi or...
hold on, let's see. I'm gonna mute you for just a second to see if it fixes it, and then you tell me if it fixed it. If not, unmute yourself. So does that sound better when I'm muting you? Was that better when I mute? Wait.
Wait.
Was that better?
Can you keep talking?
Yeah. So yeah, now you're muted. I don't know if this is better. I think this is supposed to make it better, but I guess you can always mute yourself when I'm talking. Hold on. If it is in fact making it better, I'm gonna unmute you now.
Like a lot. Like I can't even hear what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it's just from the phone. Maybe I can change. I think if I try to do this, I think it will mess it up. No? Okay. No, this is better, right?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's from because it's the mic for some reason kind of messes up with Discord. Discord is not very good at this. Before I continue to tell you what I wanted to say, I wanted to say to Mikolus, because I see that you are on X and you can't really see messages on YouTube. But the way you can join Discord is you can go to YouTube to Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts. We're streaming there. You can both see the Discord link, the third link from the top on the main page on YouTube, and also in the live right now. Guru, our moderator, put the link. Oh, there you go. We just downloaded Discord. Awesome. What I wanted to tell you is that Brandon, is that synchronicity is something that goes up on a regular basis with people that really, kind of go deep into the molecule. It's reported across the board with all the people in the DMTX project that it's a very common thing where they experience enormous increased synchronicity in their day-to-day, even before the test starting. So it's really interesting, and I do think it has something to do with opening the world lines and your awareness that you actually control a large portion of your reality.
It's like as I remove my own blockages, it's like the world opens up to me. And I went through everything, like things I didn't even know, things from childhood, everything, just process everything. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
It cleared everything. I feel so much lighter. I feel like the world is just more beautiful. It's just like opportunities are everywhere. It's like, see it so clearly now. This is like the most powerful experience I've ever had in my life. And I'm so grateful to everyone involved, everyone who helped me, everyone who's involved in building this place, everything. It's just like, just so much to be grateful for. It's like, life is amazing, and it's like, what was I doing before, blocking all my blessings, it's like life is for us. It's perfect.
Sounds like you went through an awakening, brother.
Yes, a real one.
Yeah, and now that you know how
walking in a new earth, like,
now that you know how the tunnels of the shadow of death looks like, how the darkness looks like, now you can actually help a lot of other people that might be going through similar things.
Yes, that's exactly what I was saying. Because when I went through that hellish experience, I'm grateful for that. I'm glad I went through that, even though that was like the worst experience in my life, the first trip, because it's like, I know how deep, like people in mental hospitals, I feel so much for them. There has to be a solution for people like that. And, when we do things like this, we come closer to understanding the mind. Maybe, you don't give bufo to someone who's like crazy in a mental hospital, but it's just helping us understand, that place more, and I'm excited to be a part of that.
That's amazing, man. I'm so happy that you're going to be doing this. Also, what up, Nikisha, and what up, Chili Shot? And Nicholas says is downloading Discord now. You can come on stage when you're ready. When are you planning to start? Is there like more to come in initiation and all that stuff before you can start putting people through that, or how does it work?
So I'm here for a month, but so I have land in Texas. I should be able. should be done paying it off by next month, and then I'm thinking of getting like teepees. There's like these huge teepees here. They're only like they have like wooden floors. They're like basically yurts, but like huge teepees, and they're only like $2,000 each. So I want to start with obviously septic and electricity. Then I want to get those teepees. I'm gonna start doing that. But also I'm meeting so many people here who are doing like similar things. Like there's someone I facilitated for. He lives in Belize, and he's building something similar in Belize and in Las Vegas, and he's working with something called like this technology. It's called energy enhancement systems. Like he's gonna bring some pyramid thing here, like some really powerful thing apparently, and I can't wait to experiment with that. Oh, also I brought up the laser experiment to the facilitators and everyone here, so they ordered a laser and we're all going to try it here.
Oh, let's go, baby.
So
let's go.
We're going to try with 5 and DMT.
Yeah, it's weird that you see it better with 5. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. If you tell me what is the name under which it was ordered, just to make sure that we don't, because we every week or two we do the shipments, but I can expedite it if you tell me which name exactly was ordered.
I don't know if they ordered the parts or if they ordered.
Got it. If it was from us, then yeah. If it ordered for parts, then it's not from us. But if it was from us, let me know what name, and I'll make sure it's expedited. Awesome. Also, I really love the dragonfly brie. Keeps coming back, and I love that omen, bro. This makes me so happy. This is great. Yeah. It's kind of difficult in this space. Yeah, it's kind of difficult in this space to know. What can work for whom, But I think overall there are some similarities, and I kind of went straight to the thing that I felt was universal enough that the details mattered less than your actual ability to let go, and then just placing your mind in the right space with the right visual. It's kind of like imagining moving an arm without having the map of the arm. You don't even know you have an arm. So how are you going to move something you don't know, right? So you have to paint a picture, and the letting go,
like that tracing the universe like a stencil, but the stencil morphs and you just stay with it. It's just like I don't know. But
the mind
flowing with everything.
Yeah, I think the technical part of it is that the mind cannot activate something that it cannot comprehend. So it can only interact and move things that it can fully encompass in its informational structure. The whole thing with phantom arm syndrome, right? For people who have no arm, but like they have crazy headaches because they're basically clutching the arm that is not there. Like in their mind, they're doing that. The mind holds the arm in its view and it's clutching it. So if you do this for a long time, you're gonna get crazy tensions in the body. So the way they do that, you know this, right? They put a mirror in front of your other arm, and then they show you like a visualization because it looks like the other side, the other hand. So then they say let go of this one, and the second you do, your brain goes, oh, you could see the other arm, is just lets go of it. And that it's a similar thing where you imagine yourself to be this thing being threshed around instead of just being like a diffused general problem. There's some kind of a problem that's not helping. That's not helpful. But if you can identify what is that, you can visualize it, you can mentally hold it, you can then do stuff with it. And this is the reason that I keep telling people, if you, and by the way, all of these things are easier said than done, obviously, but if you can, no matter how difficult or hard your whatever it is that you're struggling with, if it's anxiety or anger, whatever it is, if you can identify it in your body and you have enough awareness of it, just like that arm, if you can visualize the signature, where is it? Is it in the chest? Is it in the forehead? Where is it? Like find it, and then just isolate it and hold it in your mind's eye, and then just don't even do anything. It will just slowly diffuse because you literally paying attention to it. So it will just kind of slowly clean itself out, basically. So I'm super glad that this works for you. Yeah, man. So this program is like a really known program or something. Where in Texas is it?
Oh no, I'm in Mexico right now.
Oh,
my land is in Texas, and I'm
got it.
Something similar to this place in Mexico.
Now I understand.
This one is called Bufo Alvarius Sanctuary. It's in Tulum, in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing people. I've seen amazing. I'm seeing like miracles. Like there's this guy who's in a wheelchair. His hands are all curled up and stiff. And he has like no mobility. We had to pick him up out of the wheelchair and lay him down for the ceremony. And it's like when he went in, everything is just like he's moving his fingers, and it's like wow. And after that, he was a new person too. It's just like I'm so glad that I can do this for people. Like this is like the deepest work. It's just amazing. I'm so glad that I even am able to experience this, because like not a lot of people know about this. More and more people are learning about this, but it's like wow, I'm here at the forefront of something this is gonna be huge in the future. I really believe that. And but my land is in Texas. Here in Tulum it's legal, but I think it's easier to work with it here. Mm-hmm. But it's easy to get linked with the Native American church. And if I get linked with the Native American church, then I can facilitate these. You just have to show that I have training and experience, and get involved with them, and then certain methodologies, to do it legally in the United States. I also met someone else who already has like teepees and land. Someone that was here who I facilitated for in Dallas, and he said we could get something started in Texas. Like we have a Dallas location, and mine is in West Texas, and it's like, man, it's just like it's like planting seeds of love across the world, for the earth. And then this man in Belize, he's gonna have one in Belize and also Las Vegas, and it's like really, this is like this is powerful work, and it's happening so fast now.
I mean, it has to. Yeah, there's a crazy acceleration of this whole thing. Also, Jake on TikTok just said my cat clicked on your live, which is extra funny because we're talking about lasers sometimes. What up, Mary? Thank you so much for the likes. Yeah, it's gonna keep accelerating for sure. There's no question.
Yeah. What do you think? Yeah. Do you think the solar flares and Schumann resonance? Do you think that's affecting us like that? Like no. It must be, right? Because
no, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Been going crazy.
I don't think so. I think there's definitely no. I think that this is the part where I kind of depart from that whole world, because, and to be quite clear, I'm not putting it outside of the realm of possibilities that scientists might one day realize they were missing something about this. Very possible. Mm-hmm. But if you look at the details of what these things are, no. Because here, let me maybe take a step back. I think the thing that I'm really trying to say, the more universal thing, you asked me about this particular claim, right? So I would say if I just have to look at it, that claim, and just have to say yes or no, I would bet no. But that's not to say that there are no hidden forces that are influencing us. However, I'm also in the camp of people who believes that knowing what it actually is important, right? And you will never get there. Yes. Yeah, you will never get there by pretending, right? And I think that a lot of these drives to believe these extra things come from maybe not the wrong place, but it comes from just the need for the deeper connection than what we usually feel in the day-to-day. This is why, these hidden forces of quote-unquote nature, and I'm doing it in scare quotes because everything is nature, including you and plastic and everything else. So it's not outside of, none of it is outside of nature. But what I guess what people would call more organic, more natural, right? Even though solar flares are not organic, it's just, it's like, it's just these definitions. Like if you look closely at the definitions, the whole idea of well, I just want this deeper connection to nature. You are it. Just you recognizing it is all the connection you need. You don't need all these extra magical things that might be there and might not be there, right? You don't need that.
It's kind of like the concept of chakras and all that. It's like it points to it, but it's not the real thing. It's just like the experience is the real thing.
Surprisingly, I'm more
become distracting.
Surprisingly, I'm more open. I'm open-minded about all of it, but I'm a little bit more on the fence about chakras, which means that I think that maybe the chakra thing something might be there, just because energetic centers does make sense because everything has them. So if you do have these collections of different kinds of energies that we don't know how to measure yet, I wouldn't make it it's not as crazy to me, but maybe it's not as crazy to me because I do have direct access to my body. And I do, I am practicing Vipassana. So I know that paying attention to your body, you can discover quite wild things about your experience that you don't usually notice. So, but I think the real thing is much more complex than chakras, but I think chakras might be a good approximation. I'm not sure. But the thing is, if something is real, there should be a way of checking it. And if you go and just spend 10 minutes with ChatGPT, you'll discover that not, all the so Schumann resonance is a perfect example of where these things, people just seek for things extra magic without, there's no need to do it because real magic is available, real wonder of amazing, wonderful things about the world is available. And then they just they want to believe in this one thing. So they say it. But for example, I don't know if you remember, but a couple of years ago, there was this, something happened and there was this it went viral in this among the spiritual communities with the Schumann resonance becoming looking like a DNA, perfect DNA, when usually it's like this diffused signature. I don't know if you remember this, but it was almost like a perfect. I didn't see that. Yeah, so basically it was trending everywhere on X among spiritual communities. Everybody we're ascending, here we go, and everybody were so up in arms about it. Here you go, you stupid materialists. So this is which is of course the most unspiritual thing you can do. It's just what, but also this it basically had this perfect thing. You can look it up. Just do Schumann resonance looking like DNA. You will find that thread, and people just went wild with this, right, in the spiritual community. And then you look at this and you go like, dude, did you guys like? It's one Google search, right, between you and just finding out what's going on, and yet no. And what was funny to me, I'm mentioning this case in particular because it emphasizes this, what I identify as a problem in the spiritual community, which is that you saw this enormous amount of interaction around all the craziest theories that people came up with, right? And then there was one comment. It was almost like this moment was written in a skit, like an SNL skit or something. Like, that's how funny it was. There was one comment, I swear, there was one comment that simply asked, oh, the important part is that all the comments had like thousands of likes. All of them. Like, all of them.
Wow.
And then that one comment really stood out because I think it had either no likes or one like. And the comment was, hey, wasn't it just above Russia? Because the Schumann resonance is like supposed to be like global, right? It's like, it wasn't this particular register, whatever, was one device above Russia, which is a completely legitimate question to ask if it's in fact true, right? Nobody liked that comment. Nobody. Here's the crazy part. Here's the crazy part. That person was correct. That thing was only above Russia, and later it turned out to be that the device that was measuring it right above that area in Russia restarted. The computer rebooted. So that perfect arrangement was just like a factory reset. That was what it was. But the thing is, the unwillingness to just look for 1 second, coupled with,
and even I get caught in that sometimes. Like just now, you said it's a Google search away. It's like I didn't Google search it, so it's like I'm glad you're like that, because I want to be more like that. And it's like I hate when I'm not being like really thorough about things, because I need to catch myself on that more. And it's also funny you mentioned that the spiritual community was doing that, because they just did that last month. Like the whole Christian internet community, they're like, oh, it's the end times, September 23rd or whatever, because the blood moons, and there's like this huge.
They do this every year.
September, and it's like womp nothing, you know. I remember in 2015 when I was younger, the same thing. They said September and the blood moons, and it's like
2012,
and it's just
nothing happened. As Sam Harris once said, nothing happened right on time. So it's here's the thing. This is when you lose credibility. When you keep crying wolf about things you keep. Now, you're not going to lose credibility among the people who they're just blind followers. They're just it's just dogma for them, which I don't support at all, because we should always, even if you believe in God, that God gave us the ability to discern and think for ourselves and all of that. This needs to be utilized. But the reason that I identify as the problem, well, first of all, yes, it's also annoying when people do this. Yes, that's true. However, it's not even what I'm pointing to. The problem with that is that the more energy you spend looking in the wrong direction, the more you get married to an idea, even if that idea doesn't hold water, the less chances you have of actually looking in a direction that is fruitful. So it's like one day the real opportunity will come and you won't be able to see it because you're looking in the wrong direction. And it's only and one, like, I had this conversation. I remember when this happened, and we had a mini. Back then, I was streaming much more on TikTok. There was a lot more people, and a bunch of people were coming on TikTok and talking. And I remember we were talking about this, and somebody was like vehemently defending this idea. And I said, well, you know what's funny? Oh, because they were saying, well, you know, scientists are just closed-minded. They would not understand. That's what the person was saying. I said, hold on. How do you know about the Schumann resonance? How do you even know that that's a thing? Scientists. Like, the only reason you know it's a thing is because somebody understood it's happening, built a device to measure it, but then you're like, okay, I'm gonna take it from here. Thanks, folks. Like, let me explain to you what this thing that I know nothing about is. It's like, dude, the audacity, the pompous kind of, like, you know, it's just like there's no, the arrogance, exactly. There is no place to stand where this should be how we are, if we are to advance a more advanced, kind of stage of evolution, we should be open to things we currently don't know. However, we shouldn't be following a delusional thing just because it feels a certain way. It doesn't take away from the magic. Sometimes people think that just because you pull the brakes on something, it means you don't want it to be true, which sometimes happens. It's true. You do get this jaded scientists that, to be quite honest, sometimes it's also understandable. They kind of get sick of everybody just like running their mouths about things they don't understand when they devoted their lives to understand it and nobody listens to them. It is frustrating, right? But yeah, you would get that. But just because somebody's pulling the brakes on something doesn't mean they are rejecting the premise. They're just saying, show me the evidence. To some people, showing me the evidence is almost like an aggressive statement. It was like, well, just why is it a problem? Just show me the evidence. Just go look at the evidence. Why wouldn't you want the real map instead of something imaginary, right? And on the other hand, and this is where this whole thing right now with what's his name, Avi Loeb, right? The guy who is now kind of spearing the way with this new way of looking at objects that are really close to Earth and might be more than just comets. This is a point that he made in his conversation with Michael Shermer on the into the what's his name, Brian Keating, on his podcast. Great conversation, by the way, really wonderful. I highly recommend it because it's a perfect example of how people should have these conversations. Michael Shermer was there as because he's the head of he's the founder of Skeptic Magazine, so he was kind of there more like the straight guy, right? The straight shooter. And then Avi Loeb was representing more of kind of like the wilder point of view. But Avi Loeb is a professor in Harvard. He's hardly an outsider, right? And so what I really loved about that conversation, first of all, that there was a tremendous respect and love in that conversation. There was no like debunking vibes. It was just like, hey, here's this. Here's where I think we should do it that way. Here's where yeah. And one point in the counter direction that to everything I was saying right now that Avi voiced that I loved, he said, because Michael Shermer told him, Avi, like, I know you're talking about, gatekeepers and everything. He's like, you're a professor in Harvard. You are the gatekeeper and you're opening the gate. Great. Wonderful. And I thought it was, oh, what a good point. Right. So it's like, it's not like somebody's sitting and scheming. Like, yeah, there's a general vibe that people, kind of like want to hold like a standard in academia, which is understandable. And I think it's a good thing. But then the retort to that statement, I really loved. What Avi told him, he said, look, Michael, here's the problem. I've been in academia for a very long time, so I feel that I can say this. I'm qualified to say this. I've been around the block. The problem with this kind of dull, dumbing everything down, removing the zest, this obviously I'm paraphrasing, but basically he was saying like removing the excitement from the investigation. We're scientists in the end of the day, so we can eventually discern together what in fact is true in the end of the day or not. But getting excited about something potentially being true that is more than what we thought it was, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I want to encourage more students that would come into this world to think like that. I want them to be wondrous about the universe and say, oh my God, maybe it is aliens. Why can't we do that? And that's such a good point. Where is it written that just, using a dry language is like, oh, it's probably nothing, and just kind of always doing that? Who said that this is the way it must be done? In the end of the day, if a measurement tells you that it isn't, then it isn't. That's okay. Like you can still be loyal to the facts, but you don't need to drain excitement from the field. And I thought, what a wonderful point. And I've never heard that point made before so succinctly, so directly, so like no vitriol whatsoever. It's just like, look, man, why can't we be excited? And again, coming from someone who spent his life in academia, it has a lot more weight, obviously. So I think that both sides need to take a chill pill, but both sides need to have a little bit more respect also for what the other side is doing. And when I'm talking about the sides, is I guess the caricature version between spirituality and science. And there are some people that embody the spirit tremendously, like wonderfully. Andres Gomez is one of them, a brilliant mathematician and scientist. like to my mind, he's uncomfortable with that title, but I think he's a genius, and you know, but he is allowing himself to explore the wildest ideas, and he's being taken very seriously. You know, just I mean, in the end of the day, you want to follow what makes sense and the evidence, but why not do it in a way that also excites other humans to do more of that? You know?
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Thinking of like being open-minded about these things is like some of the greatest minds that ever existed, like Da Vinci or Isaac Newton. You know, they were like, you know, like Isaac Newton studying like alchemy and like doing all these like outlandish by today's standard things, but it's just like you should be free to explore all types of ideas, but you should be thorough about it and be honest with yourself about your results instead of like, yeah, I see exactly what you mean. It's like it's super important to be thorough, but to be honest, it's like if there is a magical seeming anomaly, you address that. You don't dismiss it as well, you know?
exactly.
But also, it's like you have to be scientific and break things down. You know, be real about your results instead of like, well, you know, I want it to be this other thing. So let me. I mean, you're not saying that, but you're pretending. You know, you could carry on like a fantasy if you're not careful.
You're gonna. I think that when it comes to things that are more terrestrial and close to home, it's a Chili Shot is spinning out of control. You okay, brother? Oh man, I can't wait to read those. So when things are a little bit closer to home, it's easier to see. If you're charting a map, if you're charting a map, right? You're going and you're exploring, and you want to find the closest to what the terrain really is, right? Why? Well, because if you do it not exactly right, you might fly off a cliff at some point because you didn't realize there was a cliff there, and you're driving there at night, right? It's never a good idea to have less of a resolution on a map. Never a good idea. The more resolution on a map, the better, always. So that's obvious to people, but then why is it not obvious when it comes to things that are just like kind of like up there and theoretical? I think maybe to some degree I can understand if that's the reason. Maybe because what is required to actually see things on that level, it is a certain level of intellect. There is a bar there. Like there's a level, right? And not everybody on that level. That's okay. Like, you know, not everybody has a IQ of 160. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I think that people that don't deal with that stuff, what they don't understand is that these things that people talk about, that sounds to a lot of people like highly just theoretical, like, you know, oh, space-time and black holes. And I think what they think is that it's just a game that very smart people learn how to play to just kind of like make a lot of shit up that kind of coheres by itself. And maybe to some degree there are these delusional pockets, but ultimately all of these things are connected to things we can measure. We send rockets to space. I'm talking to you right now wirelessly on a video, and I'm streaming it to 4 different platforms. I'm speaking through this crazy mic that costs like what a mic used to cost $10,000. Like, you know, it's like, it means we understood something about the map. It's not all up for grabs. The reason that your phone works, people probably sick of hearing this example, but it's true. Like the reason your phone works, actually the reason you have computers at all, is because we understand something about quantum mechanics. Is because we understand something about how electricity works. About like this doesn't happen by chance. You're not going to assemble a laser by mistake. That's never going to happen. There's something you need to understand very accurately for that to happen, and it's not going to work if a lot of things don't align. Same with rocket science. The reason rocket science is so complex, even though it should be pretty simple, because you're just trying to shoot something, just put more fuel. Well, here's the kicker. On our planet, the gravity is exactly such that it gives us this level of margin to escape it. If it would be any more, the amount of fuel that it would take to put in any kind of a body would be almost impossible to escape getting to escape velocity, where you can actually pop out of the atmosphere. If it would be any, but we're right on the margin of possible. And the reason that it's so complex is because everything has to be exactly perfect. Like one tiny slushing in the wrong compartment in the rocket will tilt the whole thing out of control. It will just fly. That's why it's so complex. So many things have to go right every single time. And this is why a lot of rockets blow up, right? But this is not all up for grabs. Nobody's ever sitting in an airplane and saying, you know, I don't think they really know how to build these planes. Or like, you would never get into the plane. It's like, of course you know that they understand this quite a bit. So why would you think that the people who build the devices that pick up Schumann resonance and what it is wouldn't also obviously understand a thing or two about it and would tell you, well, there are fields that interact with humans on an indivisible level, for sure. But if you're making a claim, like, for example, that, the general vibration of the earth matches some vibration in a person, this is testable. It's not that hard to test. You can test this. And with everything that's available today, instead of just kind of saying it over and over again, go test it. You will get a Nobel Prize if you discover something like this. It's just so much easier to just put a comment, on somewhere. Share your thoughts. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna keep reading also comments, but go ahead. The context.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying about being thorough, and that's important. And I get caught up. I can't even lie. I get caught up in a lot of things where it's like I always question things thoroughly, but there's a lot of things that I. Okay, let me rewind. I don't always question things thoroughly, but I feel like when I'm interested in the topic, eventually I'm going to start asking the real questions, like why do they believe it, and why, like where do the breadcrumbs lead? It's like what are the step by step? It's like why do they come to that conclusion? Like flat Earth, for example. It's like I'm not convinced. It's like the evidence doesn't make sense, and it's been proven wrong. But the reason why this in particular, like the Schumann resonance and like the solar flares, it caught my attention more than a lot of other things, is because these spikes are happening at such a rate that's higher than normal. And just in my life, like just synchronistically, it's like everything. It's like my hands are buzzing, my ears are ringing. But as you know, I took 5-MeO DMT, so it's like,
and that is
kind of I feel like the whole world is changing, but I have to be careful about that. Because it's like my whole world is changing, but is the whole world changing with me? It feels like it is because of all the synchronicities I've been experiencing as well. It feels like I'll be scrolling on Facebook like these last 10 days, and it's like it feels like it's talking to me. Like when I was going through that really difficult period these last the 10 days, when I'm having these reactivations at night, I would just open my phone and be on Facebook, and then I'll have these perfect messages one after. It's like, that's crazy. It's like one of those it's like, oh, the universe knows this is hard for you. It just say the universe knows this is hard for you, trust the process. And it's just that was the perfect thing I needed to hear. But it's just that's also, the human mind is very powerful at making connections and all that, especially with your mood. I'm feeling down, and that's exactly what I wanted to hear. So, but then there's just these glitches, it's blips. It's
but I don't. But to be quite honest,
about someone, and then they call me. It's like, what is that?
Yeah, no, but here's the thing.
It's I felt like I was in everyone's head.
So it's funny because the examples you give, I'm actually fully on board with. So like I said, the chakras, they might actually have something there because there's it makes sense. Like, did you connect? Now, is it actually true? Actually, I don't know, but it's testable, right? And people would say, this is the thing. It's so funny that people would just oh, it was tested. Really? Go find the paper right now. Go. There's ChatGPT. You have no excuses. There's Google. There's ChatGPT. Find it now. Send me the paper. I want to see it. It doesn't exist. Okay. So now, and people are making comments right now. It's like, sure, the Earth, Mike T. I'm not trying to, put you on the spot, but you commented this, but I just want you to see kind of how the sausage is made, right? Right now, you're making a comment. You're saying, sure, the Earth's magnetic frequency is identical to your brain's magnetic field, but is it necessary for you to know that? So what you just said, unless you mean something a little bit different by it, it is not true. So did I know that? I know that it is not true. Here's how I know what you said doesn't track, okay? Earth does not have one magnetic field everywhere the same. Where on Earth? You're talking about the average one? Okay. does the brain have a magnetic field in the same way that the Earth does? No, because the brain doesn't have a core that is spinning, that creating this thing, and it doesn't have iron in it. So now, does it have some magnetic pull? Yes, everything in the universe does, but not like a magnet. Okay, so that already is not true. If you mean electromagnetic, that's light. That's different. Now, notice how easily it is to just kind of get lost in the thing. The brain oscillates on many, many, many different wavelengths. Are you talking about the average of a brain? What does that even mean? What time of the day? Why would that be the case? Why would that be average? If you just, here's the thing. Before you make a claim like this, and you're so convinced of it, my suggestion, go to ChatGPT. It's free. Just go to ChatGPT, ask the question. Hey, is this true? See what you get. Go to Google, see if it's true. Now back to what you were saying, Brandon. The funny thing is that these synchronicities and things like this, most obviously mainstream scientists would tell you what you just kind of, I understand what you were doing. You were basically telling me, yeah, I understand it might be like a delusion of mine. I actually don't think so. So if we allow for the possibility that there is a universal mind, and then we are kind of like little pockets of this universal mind, which I absolutely think it's a case, and that's what idealism is. Now, given this is the important part of the conversation, so the considerate thing to do, if you're sitting at dinner with somebody and they're starting a conversation, instead of immediately jumping to the claim itself, you might want to investigate what the frame is and why that matters to them, which I actually think, Mike T, is something you were alluding to, because in your comment you said, but that doesn't mean that you need to know that. I think anything that is true, we want to know it because it might come useful at some point in some way. But very often when people disagree strongly about opinions, so if you're not open to the possibility that there is the universal mind, then this will never work, right? You have to investigate that with the person. You need to respect that, because somebody would tell you, yeah, I don't accept that to even be a possibility, and maybe you can explore that first, but you can't just kind of like push it through. But if you just want to talk about the part that you want to talk about, which is like maybe there is something about these synchronicities, the considerate thing to do, which will also actually probably make the other person listen to you, is to say, well, if you're willing to take this walk with me right now and just postulate for 1 second that maybe universal mind is possible, I understand that's not your position, but if you're willing to play this game for a second, then actually
I do think that. I love Bernardo Kastrup and
exactly
analytic idealism, and
exactly. So then these synchronicities, they're not that crazy anymore, because then you have a fractal version of attention on a particular object as observed from the boundary, but through a boundary, but at the same time, it is observed by the universe as a whole. So these synchronicities might just be alignments between the 2 points of view. Or it can even be that some beings that are more advanced than us, that understand the structure better than us, they learned, even though they are also units and they're not part of the one yet, but they do understand the mechanisms involved better. So maybe they understand how to communicate through these points of attention between the dimensions, and they can sometimes not control your attention, but allow that attention to be emphasized for that one instance. So like maybe they wanted to say something to you, and they wanted you to know that everything is going to be all right. So you received the same information you would have from that show, from that song, from wherever the line appeared at exactly at that moment, exactly at that time when you were like worried about something or something, right? So the song goes, and then maybe the lyrics in the song were like, everything is going to be all right, everything's going to be okay, right? So the lyrics happened. You heard the song 1,000 times before, and it didn't make any difference. Yeah. But right now, what they're going to do is they're going to open this extra channel of meaning just for that 1 second when that line happened, and your attention will be drawn to it more, and you'll be like, oh, and then it's like very significant, and then they turn it back off. It can be something like that, and it's not crazy. I can totally imagine how that would be like a form of communication between the realms, basically. So it's just like small emphases and de-emphases, which really what language is. I mean, in the end of the day, you emphasize the air in a particular way because you create air pressure waves with your mouth. So you emphasize a certain part of the air and de-emphasize a different part of, and it carries meaning, it carries information. As Terence McKenna used to say, he said, we already have telepathy. It's just that the medium is the air. You just send air, like literally, I'm putting meaning into air pressure waves, and your brain picks it up on it, and there has to be a medium. So these things, if you start refraining them that way, they're not that crazy. The only reason I'm the ones that I do say, I don't think there's something there is if I looked into it and everything we tried to measure so far didn't pan out. So you drop it. Like, don't worry about it. Like, some things are not true, and that's totally okay. Another big one is the pineal gland producing the molecule. We know it's not true. We've known this for hundreds of years. People still repeat it as if it's true. So it's like, but why does it matter? Like, yes, your body makes it. That's all you need to know. That's already amazing. Why does it matter that it's a pineal gland? Because you have so much resting on people saying it that it becomes this like truth. But it's not truth though. So what? Like, why? What's the significance of insisting that it is true? As if there's something holy about the pineal gland itself. And I bet you right now, people are like flipping over because they're like, this is just not true, and that's cool. Like, okay, if you want to be even more fair, that we've never measured that, and yes, you're right. If you maybe one day they're gonna like measure it exactly at a particular moment, they discover, it does make some. Yeah, but right now, as far as we know, there's zero evidence to support that that's the case, and it's totally fine. Your body still makes it, which is still amazing. The fact that your body makes it at all. What up, Amanda? Starting in the early 90s, for me, it was navigating all the savior complex driven fluff, learning how to dodge all the neo shamans and pay per gurus. Yeah, and see, I can't always do it. I'm when I'm on one, I'm definitely kind of like more one-sided on this track for sure. But on the good days, I'm trying to keep the balanced path. And to what you said, I would agree with this. However, I would also say, don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. There's definitely really good shamans.
Oh,
no, it's not to you, not to you. There was somebody made a comment. Yeah, no. I mean, first of all, feel free to interrupt me whenever you want. I'm just saying, I didn't feel like you were saying it. Somebody in the comments said it, and there's definitely incredible shamans and people who can work magic to help you and trim it. So like, I wouldn't say that it's all nonsense. Definitely not. But yeah, it's kind of moving into the space where people discovered there's some money in it. They're like, everybody are shamans now, out of nowhere. But you sound, man, like your heart is absolutely in the right place, and I know you're going to be helping a lot of people for sure.
Yeah, and that's not downplay the importance of doing, like, I'm here for 1 month to learn the facilitation, but I know that this takes years of practice to really, really get into it. So I'm reading all the books, Martin Ball's books and whoever else talks about 5-MeO, who's very experienced, and then I'm going in and like practice. I want to be practicing all of these methodologies of facilitation. He has a whole book on methods of facilitation that I'm about to get. And the actual practice, it takes more than a month to really, really be able to dive deep and work with this stuff. So I respect the sacraments as they are, but I've experienced, like, it was just like undeniable while I'm experiencing. It was like it was like I was thinking things and everyone was like thinking them at the same. Like everyone who was there was like thinking the things that I was thinking at the same time, or at least I would talk about the things that are in my head and they would respond exactly to what I'm talking about. Like it's amazing. And there's something there. I don't know if it's more than just subtle body language, because like even when my eyes are closed, it's like I'm thinking and I'm getting responses, like being in the twilight zone. But this only happens on like high doses of mushrooms or DMT or 5-MeO.
Yeah, for sure. They used to call it
something there.
Yeah, they wanted to call it telepathine because of that.
Yes. Syrian Rue. That used to be what they called Syrian Rue, which I kind of tested out.
Well, tell me how that went.
This is this guy. I think it's called Psychedelic Mind Meld, and I'm really excited to read it. It's like it's on the phenomenon of telepathy on psychedelics, and it's a new book. Yeah, I'm getting ready to read that one.
Which one is that one?
I think it's called Psychedelic Mind Melds. I just bought it. I don't have it with me right now, but
Okay.
it's at my house in Florida.
Dope. Amazing, man.
Yeah,
Well, listen,
so
it sounds like I'm so delighted to know that you're doing this, because from the sound of it, it's exactly, you're the right kind of person to do this kind of work. You care deeply, and
I feel called, pulled towards it,
yeah, and a lot more people are pulled towards it. It's very encouraging. Okay, I will abruptly end today's conversation, guys. I think we're getting to the hour plus, and have to go spend some time with the fam. Brandon, thank you so much for doing this. Anything you want to plug?
Well, I guess Buffalo Berries Sanctuary in Mexico, in Tulum. This place has changed my life, and also thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dan. You don't know how much you helped me to actually, take the lead and actually do this. You helped me so much. I'm super grateful.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. This is a huge honor and very fulfilling to hear. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, and all the comments I didn't get to today, tomorrow we'll do more of a comment-driven live. So come back tomorrow to do that. Let's see if there's any quick ones I can answer, because I always love answering Twitch. By the way, if you guys want to follow and help us grow Twitch, it's LaserX83 on Twitch. LaserX83, come help us there. Can you give us a checklist for shamans on how to check if they're legit? Oh, that's a really good question. So let me maybe spend a couple of minutes on this. Just full of the sea. It seems to me that the real ones are so incredibly rare that there is no chance to find it locally. Well, I wouldn't say it's that grim. I would say there's not one shaman fits all. I would say it's a matter of fit with your energy. So just unfortunately, it's a very flimsy answer, but there's no other better way to know. If you can kind of feel the vibe of what feels right in the presence of someone, that's the skill you want to hone anyway in life in general. And you're going to make mistakes, but every time you do make a mistake, clock what that mistake was. If you make a mistake about a person, instead of getting upset and all of that stuff, that's a lesson. Look back and say, wait a second, what did I think versus what happened? What exactly broke down? Like what was this what was it that I used to think this other thing that I turned out to not be true? And make a correction in your head. Next time you see that one thing, you're like, I know what it looked like to me, but I think it might be something else. And then it might be corrected in the other direction. And then slowly you're learning how to do it. But I would say, even if you just focus more on, I guess, what people would call the heart chakra, like just truly just like try and open this, just feel it. I don't know if you ever noticed, anybody here who tried, MDMA, you can feel this. You can feel this open. You can feel it. Like, that's what I mean. Like, if you can learn how to do that, usually the right kind of interaction would make itself clear. And sometimes what would happen is that even they will kind of slide off your map. Like, something would happen, it's not going to work out, or something like that. Like, the universe is going to take care of it. So I would say feel the vibe. Don't obviously ask people's recommendations, but the main thing is to go and meet them. And by the way, just to be, don't fetishize trends that don't really matter that much. What I mean by that is, very often people put a lot of emphasis on things that ultimately they don't matter that much. People would go into like, oh, I really want to go to Peru. There's some beautiful shamans in Peru. There's also some real snakes out there, man. People are people. The problem is, if you're stuck in the middle, well, Peru is not, but like Brazil, the Amazons, right? Obviously Peru, they also do it. But like, I just wanted to say, if you're in the middle of the Amazon, so it's like it didn't work. So if you're in the middle of the Amazon and you are with one of these snakes, yo, that's a problem. Okay? So actually, a lot of the services that are happening in the US in places that are legal, that they would either come to you or you go to them, the more private, the better. Don't worry about the group thing. That's actually, if you're not experienced, to be one-on-one with someone, if you can afford it, that's actually better. To be in a beautiful hotel room where you feel comfortable and there's a bathroom. Nobody said you need to suffer to go through what you would like. You can't, like, if what was required is for you to get the full wave of the thing, and that's what the universe wanted. But it's nowhere written that it's a must. No one ever said that. And in fact, by the way, now they do some new studies and research, and they're trying to see. They think they can isolate the reason of why people purge physically or with Aya, and they can just remove it. Nothing is going to be lost if you remove that part. People, I think, convince themselves that it's an essential part because it happens, but there's a physical reason for that, and you can remove it, and that's okay. So, yeah, go ahead, brother.
No, sorry, I'm just agreeing with you.
Oh yeah. So I would say just think about what is the most comfortable you can be, especially for the first time where you get to know things like this. And the same with the person. Are you really comfortable with them? And if it's, again, if you feel called that your journey is to, go into the jungles, and you got, if that's your mission and you like, it's a full force ahead, let's go. Fine. But don't make it into a must. Not everybody's journey is the same. It's a match between what you need right now and that. And I would actually say comfort is above all, actually. And as much as you can be comfortable with. And again, if what you feel inside very strongly is that, no, I don't need comfort, I need to be there with Mother Nature, and no problem. Then you know what you know about yourself. But don't, just because somebody told you, don't make it into the main thing. That's all I can say on that. And then beyond that, it just, unfortunately, it's trial and error. And obviously, you want somebody who's kind, who cares, who's not immediately talking to you about money or giving you their accolades. It's not that it's not important, but that's not something I would expect somebody who's truly of a high level to just bring up as the main point. Just look for a good person, that's really what I would say. And especially if you're a woman, by the way, you extra want to be super sure that there's like, you actually, I would refrain from advising women, usually if it's their first times, to go into these nowhere. And I would not recommend this. There's quite a few stories, let's just put it that way. So closer to home, where it's comfortable, it's totally fine, you're not doing it wrong. It's just a vibe. That's what I would say to that question. It's okay to disagree, and that's why I think, although his mindset is weighted, whatever the Miquest, he did help the community to use critical thinking to. Yeah, I would agree with that. Thank you, Nicholas. I appreciate you. The Discord is on YouTube, brother. Discord, you can find it on TikTok, Danny Goller, and YouTube, it's Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts, and you can find everything there, all the links to all the connections, the social. My brain is like fried. Okay, Brandon, I appreciate you, brother. Please keep coming back, and please come keep sharing stories if you want. You're welcome to come on Discord whenever you want and share some ideas. I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Danny. Have a good night.
Have a good night. If you guys want to follow me across platforms, it will be Danny Goller on TikTok and Instagram. It will be Goller Danny on X, LaserX83 on Twitch. Come help us with Twitch. LaserX83, and Dango Thoughts on YouTube. DANGO Thoughts on YouTube. You can also check out my new show on Spotify, 0 to 1 with Danny Goller. The full name is 0 to 1 with Danny Goller, from Earthbound Minds to Cosmic Citizens. On YouTube, you can sign up for the membership program, which helps the channel tremendously, and you will get early access to all my content. You will get access to my weekly lives, aside from the daily lives. Those are for members only, and we talk go much deeper into topics, and it's much more cozy. So I highly recommend you do that, and I think it's literally the price of a cup of coffees for the whole month. I think it's definitely worth it. We're having a lot of fun on those. If you sign up for the second tier and up, make sure you email me in the email listed there, and I will send you an invite to our monthly Zoom calls, which are also very cozy, and they're a lot of fun. I really appreciate those. And check out the new merch on the channel. We have two lines. One is Human First, which signifies the fact that we should treat each other as the vibe that we should treat each other as humans first, versus thinking about political affiliation or any idea you might have about the world. There's a human in front of you first. Let's think about the world that way, and you'll be helping the channel tremendously. And there's also the really cool core Code of Reality designs. More new designs are coming out very, very soon. Please come check out our website, codeofreality.com, codeofreality.com, where you can find lasers and protocol and a lot of other good things. We're actually working on a new platform that we're going to be announcing soon, in which people can actually come on board, share their anonymously. Sometimes they can just share their protocols and experiments. It's going to be a lot of work that Carmelo and Carter put into this. I'm extremely proud of it. And what else am I forgetting? Oh, of course, come join our incredible Discord community of like-minded people sharing these wonderful ideas. It's slowly growing. You can find the links to that on my TikTok and the link tree, or on the main page on YouTube in the description in the main page. I think the third link from the top is Discord. I want to thank our incredible moderator, Guru, brother. You're the man. Thank you so much for always being here and making this such a smooth ride. I really appreciate you. And I want to thank to all of our listeners. You guys are making this what this is. We're slowly growing. It's very exciting, and I'm really happy that this kind of community is forming around this project and around this channel. It is really, really enjoyable to have these conversations on that level. Thank you for coming, asking questions, debating, disagreeing. I love this. So whenever somebody wants to bring a good disagreement, love it. Come, good faith conversations. You can come on Discord or TikTok, and we can hash it out. It's amazing, and I love it. All right, guys, I'm going to see you tomorrow. Peace and love, everyone. Ciao. Have a good night, everyone.